Well, good evening, Arkansas. A very happy Thursday to everybody out there around the state. Happy Thursday or Friday Eve, as I like to call it. Overall, a very hot and humid day across the state today. We did see a very few isolated showers and storms here and there, but for the most part, it was a dry and hot day across the state. Many of us got up to around 95 to 100. Those heat index values did get up to 105 to 110 across many areas of the state. Very typical late August day across the natural state. Of course, we are seeing a few very isolated showers, and those will start to die off as we head in towards the evening hours. But the good news is that we will start to see those rain chances go up over the next few days. I'll go over that here in just a little bit. But obviously, this evening coming in very hot around the state. 97 in Russellville, 97 in Fort Smith. Our River Valley areas are very warm this afternoon. 93 in Searcy, 93 in the metro, 91 down in Arkadelphia, and a rain-cooled 82 down in Texarkana and Camden at this hour. Of course, all eyes are on the tropics right now, and what is now newly formed Tropical Storm Ida. And this is going to track over Cuba over the next 24 hours, and it's going to emerge into the Gulf of Mexico. And once it emerges into the Gulf, that's when everything is in play. Again, the Gulf temps are very warm, as Cameron mentioned earlier this afternoon. And ultimately, the high pressure to our east, the trough to our north, and the high to our west will determine where this tracks. And a stronger system tends to track a little bit further towards the west, with the weaker further towards the east. So we're going to see how this goes as it moves over the Gulf of Mexico, fully anticipating it to intensify as it moves across the Gulf. Current forecast does take a Category 2 storm into Louisiana. Now, that being said, this is going to move over very warm waters, so we could very much see intensification over Category 2 status, so we're going to have to watch that. Also, again, this track is not set in stone. Current track as of the 5 p.m. update takes it just to the east of Arkansas, or right up the Mississippi River. But anywhere in that cone is where the center could track. Also, key thing to remember is that the effects will be felt far away from the actual track of the center. And on this track, southeast Arkansas would be in that northeast quadrant, at least for a little bit of time. Not for a long time, but just for enough. So again, the further east this tracks, the lesser impacts we see. The further west, the greater impacts we see. And I fully expect adjustments to the forecast over the next few days. If you remember a year ago, this is kind of how this started with Laura. It tracked east, and then eventually the track came right over the state. So again, not saying it's the same, but we obviously have to watch for trends going forward, especially once we get an idea on how strong our high to our east is going to be over the next couple of days. So again, the biggest story with this is going to be rainfall, and rainfall in an area that doesn't really need it. We saw the major flood in June. We just saw a lot of rainfall over the past couple weeks in southeast Arkansas, and here we go again with another round of rainfall. Right now, the forecast has not changed much. A widespread 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across much of the southeast half of the state, with an area of higher totals across southeast Arkansas. Again, this is on the current forecast track of where that track is going to go. If the track shifts back west, the heaviest rainfall shifts back west, and we could actually add 5, 6 plus inches of rain totals to southeast Arkansas if this tracks back west. If it stays east, I fully expect this is about what we'll see. And if it tracks even further east, then these rain chances go down. Obviously, the less amounts of rain across the west, the highest across the southeast. And again, over the next 48 hours, this is going to change, so just stay tuned to the forecast as we continue to track Ida into the state over the next several days. Now, again, the bigger story coming up. Again, we have one more hot day ahead on Friday. Friday's going to be another day very similar to this afternoon. Hot and humid, a stray shower here or there. But we head into the weekend, our temps are going to start to come down as that high starts to move off towards the east. What that means is an increase in rain chances over the weekend. And that's also going to bring those temperatures down a little bit, as well as bring those heat indexes down a little bit. Not much, but just enough. Then, all eyes, obviously, as I've talked about, turn to the Gulf Coast. Where does Ida track? Does it affect Arkansas? Current forecast does bring increased rain chances for the first half of the week, with the possibility of at least a little bit of wind across parts of southeast Arkansas and across parts of east central Arkansas as well. Now, obviously, where this tracks, as I mentioned, does determine our overall weather, but for now, going with at least, with the increase in tropical moisture, at least a chance of rain across much of the state. And again, any severe weather would be determined on the upcoming track. Labor Day weekend is looking very, very nice across the state. Again, tracking a cold front, Ida is delaying that front, but the front does look to swing into the state as we head into Labor Day weekend. That does mean that we could see a very nice, cool Labor Day weekend across the state, but that also could bring the possibility of a few strong storms as well. Again, we're still several days out ahead of that, but just some early thoughts on your Labor Day weekend as we are finally entering the final big weekend of summer and we start to head into meteorological fall. So a lot to track, a lot to go over the next several days. It's going to be a very active week ahead for sure across the state. Now, for our folks up in northern Arkansas, again, tomorrow will be our warmest day. Not much rain until we get to about Sunday and Monday when that tropical moisture does start to move into the state. Again, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is when we're going to be watching for the highest chances of rain. And, of course, those temperatures coming down into the low 80s with those lows into the 60s. Based on the current track, as this pulls off towards the northeast, it's going to put us in a northeast flow. That's going to bring a little bit drier air into the state. Also going to help bring those temperatures down a couple of degrees. Keep us just at or just below average as we head into the first week of September. And then, of course, just beyond that, going to be watching our front coming in for Labor Day weekend. Across parts of central Arkansas, again, tomorrow's going to be our very hot day. Again, not excessive heat, but, again, very typical of the month of August. As we head throughout the weekend, rain has to start to come up a little bit. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday still continues to be that target, especially across parts of east central and parts of south central Arkansas as well, where we're watching for the possibility of increased rain chances as we head throughout Sunday, especially on Monday and Tuesday. Again, it could be a little bit windy, especially across parts of east central Arkansas on Monday night and Tuesday, as that center comes through that part of the state. And, of course, any deviation in track will change the forecast, so stay tuned for that. Again, as we head towards Wednesday and Thursday, rain chances go down a little bit, but with the northeast flow, it will keep us at least a little bit below average for this time of year as we head into the first weekend of September. So, once again, a lot to track across central Arkansas, and any severe aspects will be determined upon the track of Ida. And across parts of South Arkansas, this is where the warmest day is going to be on your Friday, with those highs into the mid-90s once again. Heat index values around 100 to 105, so not too bad for the time of year as we head throughout the weekend. Temperatures gradually come down into the 80s across the state, and again, if Ida tracks over the state, these temperatures could be well overdone, and we can only see 70s for highs on Monday and Tuesday across parts of South Arkansas. There's something that we have to watch over the coming days. Right now, anticipating that with the eastward track, just a little bit, have brought those highs up a couple of degrees, keeping those rain chances in. Then, of course, very heavy rainfall and windy across parts of southeast Arkansas, and then those rain chances go down a little bit as we head towards the upcoming weekend. But just beyond the 7-day period, they do look to come up as a cold front tracks towards us on Labor Day weekend. A lot to go over, a lot to discuss. Stay with us. We're going to be tracking this all weekend long. And, of course, we're going to be in the field on Monday afternoon and Monday evening. If trends hold, we're going to be out in the field across parts of southeast Arkansas on Monday, tracking this into the state, especially for areas that have been flood-prone across the state. We will be tracking Ida. We'll be tracking a cold front, severe aspects, heavy rainfall. Stay with us, and your number one source for all things Arkansas weather.